Good morning. It's 8:15, 8:30. Today's project is going to be a little different. So I told everybody a while back that we had added bees to the property, and I had an old beehive that I acquired years ago, and it's deteriorating fast. But the bees are in it. Hawks are flying. But oh, looky here. Oh, there's one. Anyway, before I get distracted. So the beehive out here, you can see here that it's running good. Let me get around where the sun ain't from behind me. Maybe that'll work a little better. Hey, how's that? So you can see the beehive. It's working. The bees are coming in. That just went in with pollen. I saw it. Um, but this old beehive, I don't know how old it is. It was given to me, and it's a top bar hive. So we wanted bees here for the property. More for pollination than honey. Now, granted, it'd be nice to get a little honey on here, so I'm gonna gently, I got nice bees, but I'm gonna gently come back here and come behind it here and get my view down. I'm gonna open it up gently here. So this is called a top bar hive. So see, each one of these bars here, they there's honeycomb. Actually, this is a divider and end wall here, but there's honeycomb hanging from these bars. I got some cross combing going on right here. I know I do. I'm just waiting on a new bee suit to come because I can't stand the one I have. And probably do a video of opening it up. My son-in-law wants to come and open it up with me and see what's inside it. But I want to build a new one. This one here is really letting go. It's deteriorating fast, and it's pretty simple. So hang on one second. Let me close this back up. It takes two hands to close it. So you can see when I open that up, it didn't disrupt the bees at all. They're just going about their business like normal here. So you can see that bee flying around facing the hive. That could have been an orientation flight. The other day I had a bunch hatch out, and boy, there was a bunch of orientating going on. And you can see a bunch just came out, and they're kind of flying like in little figure. Oh, get this back up here. I'm sorry, I'm watching the hive, not my camera. But they're flying like in little figure eights, kind of facing the hive. So you can see, here comes some more. Back up a little bit. So I'm standing here like, a foot and a half or 2 foot from my hive, and they're nice bees. They don't care. I don't want to push my luck, but you know, I, I I'm fine with it. Now you can see right here, I'm not even zooming in. I'm actually right down here pretty close, and I'm just not going to disturb them. They seen me, and they all kind of just backed up into the hive. I guess they think I'm a predator. But I'll sit here for a minute real still. Couple coming out there. But anyway, so the hive, it's working pretty good. It's young. I can't wait to open it up and see what's in there, but I don't know how long this hive is going to last. I've noticed that there is a board in the bottom of it that is starting to rot pretty quick. I mean, I really don't know how old this hive is, but I need to be prepared. So what I don't want is, I don't want to get 100 pounds of honey in that hive and it just collapse and ruin everything, run the bees off. I don't know what would happen. They probably wouldn't be as nice. But so today's project is going to be a beehive. Give me just 1 minute. All right. So anyway, I took some measurements on that hive. I'm no beehive expert by any means. I'm no bee expert. I mean, I'm just learning as I go, kind of the way I do anything. I have a man that lives behind me that gives me a lot of help. Anytime I have a question, I can call him, and he's a super nice man. He really, is happy to answer any questions I have. Um, if he ever needs help, I'm happy to help him too. Just think about that, Mr. Evans. But anyway, so I want to build a new beehive. So, like I said, I'm no expert. I looked around on the internet and I've seen all kinds of plans, but me, I'm kind of one of them guys. I see it in my head, and you know, I just start. I just do. What can I say? But I measured that hive out there, and it's about, I don't know, 43 or 44 inches long. Seems like an odd measurement to me. Um, I don't know. It just seems odd length, not maximizing lumber very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink that down a little bit to 36 inches long. And I'm going to build two hives. I'm going to build one to replace that one, and I'm going to build another one as a backup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build two hives. So on the top bar hives, there's no frames, okay? There's just that board you saw. I mean, like this ruler, it's just a board. There's a little strip on the bottom of it, and the bees build a honeycomb off of that. It just hangs. There's no frame, okay? Just the top bar. And it's more natural to what the bees build in the wild. So on doing some research, what I found, because I can't really get in that hive and do a bunch of measurement. I mean, I could, and I have a junk bee suit, but so far I've not even wore the bee suit a couple times I have been in there. But anyway, um, so what I've learned is when they build their honeycomb, let's just use this pencil here. So say this is my top bar. So when they build their honeycomb on the bottom of it, hanging, it's always kind of shaped like this, right? So what I've learned is with that hexagonal shape, that these sides are normally like a 30-degree angle. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the sides of my beehive at a 30-degree angle. So I also know in reading that the magic number is 3/8 of an inch. So if you have anything less than 3/8 of an inch, what the bees will do, sorry about that if I rub that microphone, but what the bees will do on anything less than a 3/8 of an inch is they'll take propolis and they'll fill it up. They'll fill it up. They'll build to it or whatever. So they will stick it. They'll close that 3/8 of an inch gap. Anything over 3/8 of an inch, from what I'm reading, they'll build right to that 3/8. So the 3/8 of an inch, and if you noticed on that bar, it's instead of having a round hole, it's got a slit for the bees to go in and out of. That hole, I actually stuck a tape measure the other day, and it is 3/8 of an inch. Imagine that. But that's the size, I guess, of the bee. The bee needs 3/8 of an inch to be moving in and out. So what I hope is when they build their honeycomb, we'll figure it out when we open it up. But when they build their honeycomb, that they'll be 3/8 of an inch from the side. They'll follow that natural shape. And that way they can go around the side. I'm sure it'll be stuck in a place or two, but this is my hope. Anyway, so I'm going to build a 3/8, I'm going to build a 3-foot long hive, and that's to maximize lumber. So what I can do in an 8-foot board, I can get two sides and one end. Okay, so that's 3 foot long, 3 foot long, 6 foot. That leaves 2 foot for an end. I don't really know how wide it's going to be at the top or the bottom, actually. I'm just going to see what I end up with. Using this 30-degree angle, I'll do some experimenting and we will see. So I probably won't show you all of my brain clicking on the video because it's going to end up being a long video anyway. But what I'll show you is what I have and how I got to where I'm at. So let me go and do some figuring and see what I come up with, and we'll figure out a size. Like I said, I'm not using a plan. I just know in my head what I want. All I got to do now is create it. So give me a few minutes. Let me see what I can come up with. All right, so here's what I've came up with. I went out there and I measured how long the top bars on my top bar hive out there were, because what I'd like to do is be able to, before that beehive actually collapses, I have a living hive in it. I would like to be able to go out there and maybe take a new hive and put it in its exact place and take the top bars out of it and set right into the new hive. So the top bars on that one are 19 inches long. So here's what I've come up with. This is going to be the size of the inside of my hive. So this is 18 inches wide, and by the time I have, a half-inch overhang on each side for the top bar to set on top of the hive, that's 19 inches long. So those bars should fit in this hole. You can see this line right here. So what I did is I measured a couple different lengths, and these are 30-degree angles. I've got two of these. So I'll use this. I'll put a top bar on this. I'll drill a hole in it in one, and I've got one that I won't have a hole in just in case I need it. But I can use this to shrink or expand the size of my hive by moving it inside and adding or removing bars. Okay, but what I can do is put a hole in this and put a sugar feeder on this side, like during winter or during hard times when there's no flowers, and the bees can actually, without leaving the hive, come over here and get sugar, nectar, sugar syrup, whatever you want to call it. So this I'm going to use as a jig to hold my sides at the right angle. Okay, so you notice I've got a mark right here. So that's 3/4 of an inch tall, and what I've got is a board I'm going to cut these angles on to drop into the bottom, so the bottom will set in instead of being on bottom. I think that one out there has the board just attached to the bottom, and I think it's kind of part of the problem. Maybe some rain had hit the sides and run down and gotten that little crack and rotted it out or whatever. So I'm going to try to solve that problem. So anyway, so here is one of my dividers, and I'm going to use it for a jig to hold my sides. This is going to be the width, the height, and 3 feet long for the beehive. Okay. Okay. So there's my base of my box. Here is my going to be divider. So what I can do is I can set this in here. I can move it down. I can put less or more top bars in one end, and I can move this down, and I can put a feeder on this side where the bees come through a hole and get to the feeder. So if you notice, I made my end boards 3/4 of an inch taller. It's because my top bars that's going to be across here are going to be 1-bys. That way when I set them on, they'll all be nice and flush. So it'll not just function nice, but it should look nice, okay? So, what's next? But you can see how that works now. All right, I got back with my boards. I went ahead and put together my second box for the second beehive. So it's just too hot. I bet it's 120, 125 degrees in here in the shop. So I'm going to call it a day. But because it's so humid and hot, I actually took and stacked these on top of one another. My floor is real flat right here. And I set this little forge here on top of it, probably about 60 pounds, just to keep it from warping or anything in this humidity until I can get the bottom made, and then we should be fine as far as any warping goes. But man, is it 100% humidity and hot as can be. So we'll be back in the morning. Morning, guys. We're back on day 2 of the beehive build. After looking at some of the videos I recorded yesterday, I realized I'm not showing you a bunch of work like I do a lot of times. I figure you guys already know how to measure and cut a board, and I figure you can already drive a screw and glue some boards together. I'm just showing you my thought process on this. We'll try it this time. If you don't like it, I'll just show some work. But where we're at this morning is I need to get my table saw down and get it set up. I'm going to set up outside. It's not raining yet. We'll see how it goes. but I need to get my table saw down. I need to rip the boards for the bottom. I need to rip them on a 30-degree angle so they set down in the bottom, good tight fit, and get them glued and screwed in. And then I guess I might need to start either on the legs or on the roof. But I don't know. I'm going to get set up and see about getting some boards ripped and get the bottoms dropped in, and we'll be back. All right, so I ripped my bottoms, and 30-degree angle, it worked perfect. So here's what it looked like. Now you can see I ripped a 30-degree angle on each side, and when I drop it in, it fits perfect. So just drop it in, drops right down. You can see it's flush on the bottom, no place for any water, and I'll drill some holes in this and put some screen on it for venting. But that's what I wanted. So that way when the water hits the side, if any water hits the side, it runs down, runs off. Nothing gets in it. It's sealed up nice and super tight. I'm debating. I'm going to glue this together just because I want it to be nice and solid and not warp, but it'd almost be nice to leave that where you could just pop it out and clean everything, but that's not what we're going to do. It is already getting hot, if you can't tell. But so I'm going to go out there and glue my bottoms in, and I'll be back. We'll figure out what's next. Well, guys, it's been a few days since we were on the beehives. I've had a dozen other projects come up, water catchment system, burying a gas line, just a bunch. But it's just normal around here. So I think it's been maybe a week since we've been on the beehives. But where we're at right now is I've got the boxes built. I got the bottoms glued in. I got the legs on it. They are ready for a roof. Okay. So let's walk out here. I got them in my barn. Let's walk out here and have a look at them, and I'll tell you what my plan is. All right, so here they are. You can see I've got the bottoms glued in them, and they're on legs. They're solid. They're good to go. So where we're at now is I need to build a roof. So what I'm going to do, this right here is 1.25 inches down, and that's what the roof's going to set on when it's closed. So I'm going to come up probably, I don't know, another 1/2 inch above that, say 1.75 inches. I'm gonna rip me some sideboards. I'm gonna cut me a little gable board for all 4 ends, 2 on this one, 2 on that one. I'm gonna rip me some 1.25 inch or 1.75 inch sideboards, so I end up with a little bit of overhang here, and we'll go from there. But for now, I got some measurements. Let's go cut some boards. By the way, our heat index today is supposed to be like 110 and 112 to 115 tomorrow. So we'll see how long this lasts. So try to do this, bringing the minimum tools out here. I've already lost my shady spot, but here we go. So I keep running to try to stay in the shade. It is not working for me right now. It's a little bit cloudy, and we're going to take advantage of it real quick and see if we can't put this together and check it out. All right, so now you can see the roof's fit. I'll be putting metal on them. So next I have to cut a bunch of top bars. I got to cut my divider boards, put a bar on them, make them fit. I still have to drill all my holes for ventilation in the bottom, make my entrances. But that's it for today. It's 1,000,000 degrees and I'm done. I think I'll just get on the tractor and maybe go try to catch a breeze doing some mowing. Well, guys, it's been about a week since I made a video on the beehives. Had other things going. The heat was horrible. And I was only getting to work on them maybe 30, 45 minutes at a time just because it was so freaking hot. And I didn't want to waste that time videoing. I apologize. But I got the hives together. I got roofs on them. I got all my top bars made. And this weekend, the grandkids are going to come over and eat dinner. And I got a bunch of paint. And they're going to decorate them for me. And I'll post some pictures of them along at the end of the video if I can. But here, we'll do a walkthrough. I'll show you the hives. So I got them painted last night. And they're drying. They're just kind of a green. Now this one here just has a one-piece metal roof on it. The other one, it has 3-piece metal roof, but it's got a vent in the bottom. Here's my entrance. I got a landing board on the outside for them to come in. See, there's the entrance. I'm going to drill a hole on the other end here to make a second entrance. Got chains on both ends to hold the roofs up so I can get in them. I don't have to worry about it. Like I said, there's your entrance and a landing board. Again, I'm going to drill a hole in that end. A vent in the bottom. Follower board here. These are my top bars. I got a whole bunch of top bars over there. So what I did on these is I cut a slot and I added a piece of poplar because I had poplar in it. And I gotta wax them. I gotta wax this part. And that will go in. And this is what the bees build their comb off of, right? But this one here, it's got a metal roof. I actually bent a ridge for it, painted it black. But not only are they gonna work good, but they're gonna look good. Like I said, chains on them so they hold the lid up. You notice that the entrance is on the side that the roofs open up. So the entrance is on this side. That way when you open it up, if the bees are working in and out, they really don't even know that you're here, right? So you can see now, I stand on this side. The bees work in and out of that. The top bars are over everything. They really don't even know that you're here. Oh, if you're wondering about the flags in the background, so my barn here, this used to be our martial arts school. My wife and I taught martial arts for years and years and years, and before we retired, this was our martial arts school. So, like I said, there's the hives, and I'll post some pictures of them. Show you what this one looks like with the roof down. So you can see there,